So sometimes we can have some thoughts about our partner. We may find ourselves just thinking, man, I wish they would plan date nights sometimes so I don't have to do it every time. Or maybe, I wish they would buy me a gift occasionally. And maybe even the thought like, I know they appreciate me and the things that I do, but I wish they would just say it. Sometimes we get those feelings, those thoughts, and we keep them to ourselves. And we may even go a step further and go, why should I share it? We've been together for a while, so I shouldn't have to say something like this. Or maybe even this feeling like, well, if I say it, then if they do it, it may feel like it's ingenuine because they wouldn't have done it otherwise. So meanwhile, we sit there waiting for our partners to read our minds or somehow figure out what we're thinking or feeling inside. And while we sit there, we're kind of suffering and hurting, waiting for our partner to show us that act of love. Why do we do that? So what if we change that approach? What if we do something different? And this is not something genius or groundbreaking, but what if we just say it? What if we just made that request to our partner and share how we feel? And when I say request, I'm not talking about some passive aggressive statement like, well, when was the last time you took me out on a date? Or it would be nice if you bought me a gift for once. I'm talking about a really nice, genuine request, not a demand, because when we make demands of our partner, it actually pushes them away, it makes them feel like we're controlling them, and it doesn't feel good. But if we make a request, it gives our partner the opportunity to say yes or no. A request gives our partner the ownership to actually follow through on that act of love for us. Now, when we make a request, we're actually making ourselves vulnerable in that moment because there's that slight chance that our partners may say no. And we have to be cool and okay with that because if we do expect them to follow through and say yes all the time, then that request is now a demand. Here's an example of what I mean by that. Say you go to your partner and you're like, hey babe, I'm a little tired today. Do you mind going grocery shopping? And they respond and say something like, I'm actually in the middle of a project, it's due, I want to get it done before tomorrow. Do you mind if I do it tomorrow? And then in that moment, your response is something like, man, you're always working. I can't count on you for nothing. So in that moment, that request that you started nicely with just became a demand based on your reaction. So let's go back to that date night example that I opened up with. Now, when you're making a request, I highly recommend that you share why you're making the request, especially for some of the bigger ones, some of the deeper ones. And you share why it's important to you. So going back to that date night example, you can say, hey hon, I really enjoy our quality time on date nights, and lately I've just been tired of dealing with the scheduling and planning and the logistics of it all. Would it be okay if you planned the next couple date nights? I'd say yes to that. I think you get the point. So if we have something on our mind, just sitting baking for a while about something we would like our partner to do, let's not sit there and wait for them to be Miss Cleo and read our minds, but let's just give them the opportunity, the gift of making a request so they can respond to our needs.